A couple of videos ago, I made a video where I shared my thoughts on the genre of horror. There's tons of other genres, and I kind of really love all of them, and I think there's something fun in all the different genres. So I want to kind of go through all of the genres, and if we get through all of these, I might even do subgenres. But this week, we're going to talk about sci-fi, a genre which often pushes ideas to the limit. So I think it's one of the most creative and imaginative genres to write. It plays on technology and the advancement of science. Sci-fi can be an epic adventure like the space opera of Star Wars, or something more bleak like Blade Runner. And I like both of them. But where I think sci-fi excels is in the concepts it shares with us. In the written form, in fiction, the genre is often been called the literature of ideas. And I connected with that, like literature of ideas. This is what I find interesting and what I enjoy out of a sci-fi film. A film like Ex Machina, which is one of my favorite sci-fi films, and it also happens to have one of my favorite dance scenes. But anyways, Ex Machina is this idea. It tries to delve into an idea about a robot getting an AI and can it get sentient like a human being. It's all about this guy doing the Turing test. If you pass the Turing test, it is kind of indistinguishable from a human being. And the whole movie is just pondering this one question. Another really good one is Annihilation. And that's all about the concept or the idea of having an alien life form come down to Earth and affect everything in a contained area within the shimmer, as they call it in the movie. And this will tweak on evolution and send it on wildly different ways. Annihilation is difficult to pin down, like, what is the concept? Is it the title of the film? Is it just a destructive cancer within the shimmer? Everything just breaking down? Or is this alien force creating some new life force? But anyways, it lingers on these kind of thoughts. It's still this concept. It's just a bit more dreamlike and not so clear-cut. And then we have Devs, which is actually a miniseries, a really good one. And that's all about the idea of a quantum computer that can predict the future as well as the past and extrapolate backwards and forwards in time. The show is all about free will versus determinism. Like, do we have free will or are we doomed to do exactly what is determined of us? This show zones in on this one aspect. This is kind of literature of ideas where it's all about the ideas. It's not necessarily about the character. Characters take kind of a backseat. All these three examples is actually made by the same director, Alex Garland. And I think it's really cool what he's trying to do with the sci-fi genre. Like,
it gives you a lot of freedom in terms of ideas. If you want to have a movie that contains ideas, in sci-fi you don't need to smuggle them in. Sci-fi audiences actually look for that and like it and respond to it. If it was like a straight action movie, you'd sort of have to justify it more, is maybe what it feels like.
So he really uses this genre to explore ideas and concepts that are difficult for people to wrap their heads around. And that's what I think is really interesting with sci-fi. You could go tons of different ways with it. Of course, sci-fi can also be escapism, just pure fun. It can be a metaphor for politics. And often good sci-fi kind of warns us about something that might end up happening if we don't think about it. I recommend all of these if you think these sound nice. Ex Machina, Annihilation, and Devs as well. Really good stuff. And also I want to recommend something old, something genre-defining, like I did with the horror film where I talked about Psycho. And in this genre, we can go all the way back to 1902 with the film A Trip to the Moon. This is actually like one of the first sci-fi films ever, and it has all the tropes of a sci-fi film, and it's actually quite enjoyable. I was impressed by what they achieved considering the time they were in, and if you're interested, it's linked down in the description. It's only 14 minutes, so next genre video will be about fantasy. I'm really looking forward to that. That's my favorite genre. That's it for this week.
I'll be back.